It's Kurt. I tried a couple of these. I didn't like them, but I still would like to try to post. So I'm gonna try one last time to share what's on my mind without being too manic. The thing is, I would say I'm manic depressive, but I don't. It's I want to die, and I think that I'm God, but not me, myself. More, more like I'm egoless and don't believe that I actually really exist and is in nothingness sort of way. Kurt, you weren't supposed to be crazy. You're already talking to yourself. See, I'm fully aware that this is insane, yet it's still what I believe because it makes the most logical sense. There were these dudes called the Transcendentalists, consisting of the likes of Walt Whitman. I say Emily Dickinson was one, yada yada yada. Um, and they thought with pure reasoning you could transcend the human condition. Henry David Thoreau. It's very similar to a lot like the Enlightenment thinkers. So, pure reason gets you places. Also, sometimes you have to drop it and jump to the next level. That's called belief. Anyway, that's the end of me being whatever the fuck that was. I'm gonna read some from my journal. Not like a journal of more like a creative journal, not a journal of my thoughts and feels, although the creativity pours from there, so they probably get all mixed in. This is called the nature of change. Everybody is perfect. Everybody is lame. Everybody is worth it. Everybody should forfeit. Life's a disease full of shame. Beg on your knees for salvation. Get on your knees and take some. Pay a dime, won't you taste some? Everybody's gotta be headstrong. Make your bed and you'll live long. Play your cards right or they'll take some. Gotta live long to make some. Beginning to lose fucking patience. Everybody the same in this nation wants to be one of the famous. Think I'd rather be nameless. This is called Growing Pains. And all these are really sketches. This one in particular, it's nothing. I didn't try very hard. I tried hard, I like it a lot. Anyway, growing pains. Learning implies self-contradiction. Growth implies self-contradiction. Unless the present is above the past, when you get to the top, climb higher. To your surprise, you'll forget, stop, begin again, recurse, rehearse. Here comes the hearse. Life disguised, life despised. Now rise, get high. Roller coaster loops, change sucks. Hands up, faster, faster. Drug-induced maniac, heaven's own insomniac, Kurt's a disaster. This is just a little bit of something, something. It's nothing legit. Just like a couple lines. It's got a cool sketch next to it. It's a, it's a smoking dude. Dude smoking. Manifestation masturbation. If I could manifest shit, I'd have an uncomplicated dick and a hot fucking chick. I'd be on top of these hoes. If I could manifest shit, hell would be roses. Anyway, that's my poems. I don't have any more really. Um, I could read some different poetry if you hold on a second. Okay, firstly, this is my trans poetry. It's I don't really like to write trans poetry because it makes me too angry because we live in a cis supremacist world and it makes me too angry. We can't change the rules. There aren't enough of you to be reduced to now I have to start over. We can't change the rules. There aren't enough of you to be reduced to statistical aberration makes me lose my patience. Trannies hide and shriek. The future's awfully bleak. Pretty white boy with a degree. Why does he think he ain't free? Pretty free. I am. They just happen to label all trans babies cis, and it pisses me off just a little bit. Anyway, this is Margaret Atwood's Power Politics, and I'm not gonna read a poem in it. I wrote one of her poems in the back. It's one of her new poems, and so I don't really know if I'm allowed to read it, but you should go look it up and read it yourself because it's really wonderful, and I just want to read it. And Margaret Atwood wrote The Handmaid's Tale. She's also a poet, feminist, goddess. It's called All Bread. All bread is made of wood, cow dung, packed brown moss, true bodies of dead animals, the teeth and backbones, what is left after the ravens. This dirt flows through the stems, into the grain, into the arm. 9 strokes of the axe, skin from a tree, good water, which is the first gift, 4 hours. Live burial under a moist cloth. A silver dish, the row of white famine bellies, swollen and taut in the oven, lungfuls of warm breath stopped in the heat from an old sun. Good bread has the salt taste of your hands after 9 strokes of the axe, the salt taste of your mouth. It smells of its own small death, of the deaths before and after. Lift these ashes into your mouth, your blood, to know what you devour is to consecrate it. Almost. All bread must be broken so it can be shared. Together we eat this earth. And that made me shiver. So then I went to the bookstore to get this. And it's a good book too. I, I mean, it's a good collection too. It's from the 1970s. Um, and it's cool to see how she has gone from here to Handmaid's Tale and all that shit. I I saw an ad with Margaret Atwood once, and she was like, it was an ad about writing fiction, um, for like a master class I think she was giving, and she said something that really struck me, and I didn't look her up after this, but she was like, yeah, The Handmaid's Tale happened in real life, like the same events happened. And I took it from those events because I didn't want to imagine it, like make this from my imagination because it was so fucked that people would have hated me. I felt like if I had just come up with it on my own and didn't have history to point to say this is real. Which I totally get because I hate Plato because he came up with the cave thought experiment, which is really fucked. The cave thought experiment is just chain someone to a cave and put on a shadow puppet play, like the fire's behind them, you're putting on puppet play and they only see the shadows. Do they live in a 2D world? If that's the only concept they can experience, the shadows. It's Plato's thought experiment. That's how he came up with the theory of forms. It's really fucked. I fucking hate Plato. Just because of that. Fucked up thing. I mean, Aristotle's not so much better. Aristotle, yeah, he gave us logic. That's cool. P's and Q's, P's and Q's. But, I mean, Aristotle didn't know shit. He's like, there's the rising forces and there's falling forces. Gravity was a falling force, and fire and air were the lifting forces. Would have gotten stuck if not for Newton. The Newton was fucking crazy. He thought his biggest life accomplishment was staying a virgin, and he poked himself in the eyeball when he was watching the sunrise or something. Cause he was really crazy. He believed in Hermes Trismegistus. Uh, his religion. What is the Kabbalah? What the Masonic people read? Fuck Newton. You know why I fucking hate Newton? Not because of any of this. Because what Newton did to Leibniz. Leibniz notation is better. Fuck off. I don't even like calculus. But Leibniz notation is better. These are all the qualms I have with famous men of history. Um, Not the guy that like raped a bunch of women, but the one that remained a virgin all of his life and found that it was his greatest accomplishment. I mean, obviously, I like. Oh, R. Kelly went to jail. How wonderful! I fucking hate R. Kelly. Just because I watched that documentary and it was like, then there was like an R. Kelly fucks us part two. But yeah, he finally went to jail. That was cool. Um, I mean, it's not cool because it had to happen. The eye for an eye type of people were under the assumption that all of these things were going to happen one day, like all these terrible things, and you had to come to a you had to come up with a way to handle it for when these things did happen. Instead, like our punishment system is more allow the bad guys to get away with it and put people in for petty crimes and because of the color of their skin in order to make money in an industrial standard, but don't actually deal with things that are too bad to talk about because we don't want those brought to the forefront of our minds. Our society is really fucked. I didn't talk about feminism this time, but obviously it's not going to happen, so maybe next time. But I have a lot to say about feminism because I do not think women are treated appropriately. You say this after all this shit that you just said about. Anyway, I don't think women are treated appropriately, not just because they are raped and all that stuff. I don't think women are treated appropriately beyond that. I don't think women are given enough respect. And that's that's all I really want to say there. Maybe one day we'll expand on that. But Kurt Cobain's I never met a wise man. If so, she be in disguise or whatever that goes is true. Women are hella intelligent, and that is why I am too stupid to be one. That's why I'm a man. I get led by my penis. I'm a fucking idiot half the time. I'm too egotistical, but I don't have an ego. I'm just a contradiction. I am a contradiction. And that's why I'm cool. I don't really know if I'm cool. I kind of think I'm a nerd, but I love it. Oh, this is my nerd tattoo. See, it says nerd. It's kind of going away. I want it to go away so I can get titties there. Like actual pair of tits. Get my tits chopped off and then this goes away so I can get more titties. I'm fucking weird. I have a penis on my toe. Anyway, that's it. Goodbye. Catch you on the flippity flop, motherfucker.